Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Off the Reins podcast. My name is Ryan Messer, and man, what a weekend! Uh, we have a lot to get into, from all the people we saw this weekend to the game itself, um, the kickoff party, everything. But before we get too far into it, make sure you're following us on all of our platforms. We're one day late on the podcast because we had some breaking news come out yesterday, and we wanted to release that. So then we also wanted to put it in on this podcast as well. So make sure you guys are following us on all of our social handles. Make sure those notifications are turned on because you don't want to miss anything. We're getting up close to the mid-season mark, so make it's things are getting tight, and Birmingham's still undefeated. So make sure you guys have the notifications turned on, and uh, so you don't miss anything. Also, we're gonna go ahead and jump right on into it with this week's Birmingham Sports Brief, brought to us this week by Blue Spring Living Water. Jumping right into it with the Southern Professional Hockey League, where the President's Cup playoffs began on Wednesday, where the Bulls took on the Evansville Thunderbolts in Pelham. And fans were also able to see and take pictures with the William B. Coffey Trophy that they received for winning the regular season championship. In the game, the Bulls came away with a 5-4 victory. Then on Thursday, the Bulls went up to Evansville, where they fell 2-1 in overtime. Then Saturday was such a big day for sports in the Magic City because we had the elimination game for the playoffs for the Bulls. Then we also had the kickoff, or the home opener, as well for the Stallions. However, only one team came back victorious, where Evansville wound up winning 4-3 in overtime. This may be the end of the Bulls season this year, but I can't talk about how incredible this season was, from how offensively strong this team was, and I think they led the league in goals scored. It was really cool to see how strong this team was, and they wound up finding their defense toward the end of the season. But unfortunately, it just didn't come through fruition with the in the playoffs. Hopefully, we can recharge and get back to it in the fall. Moving on to the USL, where the Birmingham Legion took on the North Carolina FC in Cary, North Carolina on Saturday. The game, or Sunday, I apologize, where the game wound up ending in a tie of 1-1 in full time. Next up is tonight, where they're taking on the Chattanooga Red Wolves at the University of Montevallo as a part of the U.S. Open Cup. On to the MILB, where the Barons took a road trip up I-65 to Madison to take on the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Tuesday's game was a rainout, so it was postponed. However, Wednesday, the Barons got their first loss of the season, where they lost with a score of 8-2. On Thursday, they fell again with a score of 5-2. The Barons were able to bounce back, however, on Friday, with a score of 6-2, 6 runs to 2. And then, however, they closed the weekend road trip out with consecutive losses of 3-2 on Saturday and 5-3 on Sunday. The Barons are looking look to bounce back as they started out their homestand against the Mississippi Braves yesterday at Regents Field, where they doubled up on them 2-1. And then they just started moments ago game 2. So that's going to be exciting to watch this homestand here. Next week, we have a new sport we're going to be bringing to you guys. We will be covering the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. So make sure that if you haven't been, make sure you get out there. It's an awesome experience. It's a setup it's a precursor to it's for the Indy Series as a part leading up to the Indy 500 later on in the year. So make sure you guys get out there, take a lawn chair, and spend the whole weekend out there. They've got all kinds of things. You usually have fair rides, food trucks, the works. So make sure you guys get out there, and they even have usually have racers out there with autographs and where you can take pictures with them as well. So make sure you get out there to Barber's Motorsports Park out there in Leeds. Lastly, on to the NBA G League, where the squadron announced that their season tickets are now available. So make sure you get up there and order your season tickets and get them at the lowest rate available. Something else that is available for delivery is Blue Spring Living Water right to your door. And it's also available at your favorite grocer. So whether you're across the state or across the country, you can get the smooth tasting, minerally enriched water sourced right here in Alabama. So make sure you try Blue Spring Living Water today and take a step toward a healthier life. Also, do you guys have a large investment in your electronics and household appliances like I do? You guys need to ensure that those investments are secured from unforeseen breakdowns and or damages. So make sure you, because standard homeowners insurance will not cover those. So make sure you hit the link in the description and get in touch with Assurion. Then we come to the weekend. Guys, we had such a great weekend. And it was so amazing because starting with Friday, the evening with the ring presentation ceremony and the kickoff party, we got to see and hear from Jermaine Funny Man Johnson, who was the MC for the party and for the game on Saturday. And then we also got to hear from Coach Skip Holtz, as well as VP of Football Operations Daryl Johnston. It was just great to see everyone out there. Fans were able to get autographs and meet their favorite Stallions players. And then we got to see the rings. Man, are these things gorgeous. You can check it out right there. We had them on the page as soon as they, at the end of the weekend. However, you can see they've had the score on the side, and then on the face, you can see that they had the 2 trophies with the USFL insignia, and then it has the 2023 USFL champions, and then on the other side it has the player's name and the number on the back side. So it was really cool. They're really gorgeous. They're huge, and they're gorgeous rings as well. So it was good to see that. And then on Saturday, you guys got out there super early. I saw y'all guys out there as early as 12 p.m. Uh, tailgating and pre-gaming before the gates open, and it was a perfect day for it. I mean, getting out there, throwing a football around, playing cornhole, whatever. It was an amazing day for it. Um, then once the gates open, they had festivities for the kids, including uh, face paint. They had face painting and even balloon animals. So it was really cool to see that. It was the Stanley's corner, I think, what it was. But it was really cool to see that they had a little kids zone. But then they also had UAB and Stanford men's basketball teams out there with their conference championship trophies, and fans were able to take pictures with them and get pictures, and meet the team and all. So it was an awesome atmosphere in the stadium and for the championship evening. So we even got to see Alex Magoo receive his championship ring as well. And they revealed the championship banner where it had the 2022 and 2022-23 championships on it. And we also got to see Davion Davis out there. It was really cool to see both Davion and Alex out there. See them, you know, get to connect with the players that they've played with for the past couple years. It's really cool, just seeing that emotional, them catching up with one another. But then it came down to kickoff, and man, it started off with Memphis possession that quickly ended after a sack and a rushing loss and a fumble resulting in a sack that quickly brought on an early 3-and-out. And then after the punt, we got to see the explosive offense that we know and love from Coach Holtz's team, including a 22-yard reception by Jay Sternberger, Adrian scampering for 23 yards, and yet another pass to Jay Sternberger, this time into the end zone for a touchdown. On the next possession, we saw Memphis for yet another 3-and-out because of this defense. And it's been so awesome this season so far. The D-line's been keeping the quarterbacks honest and making sacks like crazy. But it's when Birmingham got the ball back, it was short because of a fumble by Adrian Martinez, which resulted in a short field for the Showboats. And they took advantage of the good field position by quickly making a touchdown. On the subsequent kickoff, we saw Isaiah Zuber return the ball back to around midfield. After an 11-yard rush by Ricky Person, Adrian Martinez made a deep pass to Marlon Williams for 41 yards for the touchdown. Then we really got to see a little bit of Adrian Martinez that we really hadn't seen yet as a passer. That's one thing he kind of mentioned on Wednesday when we talked to him, that trying to prepare himself for the next level, he was wanting to improve on his precision and accuracy as a passer. So that we actually got to see this week how well he's actually been improving. Coach Holtz actually said in postgame that he had worked hard last week and showed the most initiative and earned that starting position this past Saturday. But One thing that I hate to bring in negatives is we didn't see that many any PATs from either team this week. Um, Successful. Uh, the last week, however, we went we completed all of them. So it was kind of weird just to see that we went from completing all PATs last week to this week not getting a single one. Um, However, in the second quarter, we wound up seeing Memphis and Birmingham both move the ball pretty well, resulting in the next two drives with both teams taking turns kicking field goals in the last four drives of the first half. Coming out of halftime, however, Birmingham got the ball and made a few decent gains before stalling around midfield, forcing the punt. After that punt, however, the Birmingham Stallions defense came up and once again and forced a fumble in the end zone and recovered it for the touchdown. However, that was called back due to Carlos Davis being offsides before the snap. After the penalty, the Showboats quickly went 3 and out once again. And we saw a good, after the punt, we saw a good pass for 31 yards to Jay Sternberger, but got stalled once again, resulting in a 43-yard field goal. Once again, the Stallions defense stood strong, resulting in yet another quick 3 and out. And like I said, we talked to Scooby Wright today, and he mentioned the whole trading the players out during in throughout the game has really helped them keep the defense fresh and keep them not letting them get too tired out. Then we saw another explosive offensive showing from Birmingham on the ensuing possession, where we got to see Adrian's arm talent once again with a few good rushes in between before a handoff to Ricky Person, resulting in a touchdown. The next possession by Memphis again resulted in a punt, thanks again to this strong defense. And it's just kind of weird to see how last year was such an offensive, explosive team, but then this year we're known for our defense. We're leading in sacks, had more sacks, had as many sacks after this game than we did the entire season last season. So it's just really strong to see how strong this defense is. And that was quickly contrasted by a few nice passes by Martinez, followed by a scamper from Adrian into the end zone for the touchdown. And you can see here Cole Schneider quickly ran up into the end zone and congratulated him. You can see the emotional moment right here of him scampering into the of him, embracing Adrian right there. So it's really good to see that. And then on the next drive, things were going really well for the Showboats as they were able to move the ball down the field really well. And then the Stallions eventually intercepted the ball near the goal line. I can't tell you guys this. It's not just the defensive line either. It's the secondary and linebackers as well. They're great. So it was good to see that interception there. And then starting from the 2, the Stallions wound up getting called for an illegal formation, taking them back to the 1-yard line. And then this eventually led to a safety after Adrian Martinez got sacked in the end zone inside the 2-minute warning. And then after the punt, Memphis was moving the ball well, trying to conserve the clock, using their timeouts well. However, they got into the moved it into the red zone, and they got all the way down to the goal line as the time expired. It was really good to see that team really trying to fight even to the last seconds. So I know that team's very competitive. They got Sage Surratt that was with the Breakers last year. He's very competitive. I know Case Kukas, who played majority of the game. He's very competitive, and their Coach Flip, is extremely competitive. It was good to see him out there. He's a really good coach. I know he'll get these things turned around and get them. It's still early in the season, so they got time to switch things around a little bit. So, um, then yesterday we found out that Chris Blewett wound up having an injury and on his quadricep, and that wound up eventually resulting in us picking up um, Ramiz Ahmed, who played for the uh, uh, Pittsburgh Maulers, and he actually set the record for the USFL for the longest field goals made. So hopefully everything turns out with Chris Blewett well. That was the breaking news we had yesterday, and hopefully we can see him back out there. But it's good to see that they're uh, looking for the insurance with Ahmed. So we've got another big weekend coming up, so make sure y'all get out there. We've got some things to think about because we're the only undefeated team in the league now. We wound up seeing the St. Louis wound up beating um, the Brahmas, so it was crazy weekend. Hopefully, we could see. We've got DC this week, so make sure you guys get out there, get loud, and hopefully we can come back and be 4-0. Coach Holtz said in post game, the past two games, last week he said he's never seen a team go 2-0 and win a championship, and he's never seen a team win win 3 games and win a championship. So I'm sure it's going to be win 4 games, win a championship this week. So I like Coach Holtz. He's a really funny guy. He's leading this team. He's holding them accountable. So we'll see how it ends up on Saturday. But as for me, I'll see y'all Saturday. Giddy up.